It is a fact of life that you are going to die one day. And that is why you need to start living your life now. And I need you to bear with me here because this is probably going to get a little bit dark at the beginning, because it has to get a little bit dark at the beginning for a lot of people, because death is something that we don't really talk about too much in our society. But bear with me because it needs to get a little dark before at the end it's going to be a lot lighter. And hopefully this is going to inspire you to start living your dream life and living the life that you've always wanted to live, because of the fact that you're going to die one day. Not only are you going to die one day, but you and every single person that you know and love are going to die one day too. Every person that you've ever had an interaction with in your entire life is going to die. Everything that you know right now in this life is going to completely cease to exist one day and no longer be here. And if you're new to thinking about death, this is something that hasn't been in your mind, or if you've just been avoiding it every time it comes up, it sounds pretty dark. It does. I'll admit it. But death is a beautiful thing. Death is not the end. And we tend to think of death as the end because obviously it's the end of this physical form. And regardless of what you believe happens after death, I'm pretty certain that death is not the end of us. It's the end of this. It's the end of this form in this realm, but it's not the end completely. There is still the soul that lives on, and there are other things that happens. And like I said, I don't know exactly what happens after death. Nobody here knows exactly what's going to happen. But, I've had many, many ceremonies, plant medicine ceremonies, and I've meditated on this a lot. And like I said, I know that death is not the end. It's just honestly the start of something new. So that's one of the things about death that seems scary. And it's scary because it's the unknown and we don't know what's going to happen. And it's not our jobs to figure out what's going to happen after death. What matters is that we're here right now and we're living right now. And we have this opportunity to live our lives. And we know that we are going to die. We're put on this earth. And from the second that we are born, essentially all we're doing is just dying. We're just slowly dying over time. And you can think about that and it can kind of cause you to freeze. And I know that that's happened to me sometime where I think, well, I'm just going to die. So none of this matters anyway. So why even try and why even do anything? And you can do that. By all means, do that. See how far it gets you. Probably not very far, because you're here to live life. You're not here to just wait for yourself to die. You're here to live and enjoy life and do the things that you want to do in this life, because it really is so short. It's just a blip in this universe, in this sequence. It's just a tiny amount of time that we have, that we got to come down to enjoy all of this. And society has been created in such a way that hijacks our attention to make it feel like we're not doing enough and we need to be more and we need to be productive and we need to achieve all of these things so people like us and we have this status and we can feel good about ourselves. But most of that is just conditioning to make you feel worse about yourself, but it's not actually real. And so in thinking about death and realizing that all of this is going to no longer exist one day and you're no longer going to exist one day, you can use that and think, well, none of this matters, so why do anything? Or you could do what I do, which is take it the other way, which is say, none of this matters, so why not actually try to do whatever it is that I want to do, because there are no consequences. Nothing truly bad can actually happen. We're all going to meet the same end anyways. So we all have passions and we all have dreams and we all have things that we want to do in this life. And there's no reason not to go after them. There is zero reason in this life not to try to do the things that you want to do, because a lot of the times we get frozen because we're scared of other people judging us. Well, just think, those people are going to die one day. So it doesn't matter what they think. So you can just go on and do the things because other people's opinions of you don't matter. The only opinion that matters is yours. And if you aren't living the life that you know that you're capable of and aren't doing the things that you know you are capable of doing in this life, all you need to do is start doing them and start small. And it doesn't matter how far you get, it doesn't matter the achievement, doesn't matter the scale of it. What matters is that you feel fulfilled doing them and that you want to be doing those things, and that's what gives you life, and that's what makes this life worth living, is by going after what our heart desires. I was sitting in a ceremony last week or 2 weeks ago, actually, and this concept of death came up, and it came up really, really heavy for me. And I just had to literally sit there and feel death, like feel it upon me, and feel some of the emotions that were going to be associated with when certain loved ones of mine die. And when I die, and just thinking that this existence is so fragile and it's only here for such a short amount of time. And that's what makes it so important. Everything that we do, every word that we speak, every breath that we take, every person that we interact with, it makes it so important because it is fleeting. And that's the beauty of it. If we were going to live forever, we would just all be fucking nihilists floating through this earth, doing God knows what, and just following every single whim that just feels good and getting every single little dopamine rush and serotonin hit that we possibly could. But because it's fleeting, that's what makes it matter. And your life matters. If you're here and you're alive right now on this earth, your life matters so much. And one day, you're no longer going to be here. And I try to practice this as if I think of myself as when I'm, 80 or 90 or, 100, whatever I live until, and try to think, how am I going to look back on my life? How am I going to view the things that I did? And I want to think back and make sure that I enjoyed everything that I was doing when I was doing them as much as I possibly could. And another part of this is that life isn't all of these grand spectacles and all of these big accomplishments and achievements that we have. Life is mostly doing the dishes, literally washing the dishes and doing normal, everyday, menial, tedious tasks. That is most of life. And that is always going to be most of your life. So I put more of my effort in finding a way to try to enjoy those things and try to be really present with those things that just have to be done because it's part of the human experience. And it's no better and it's no worse than any of the other things that we get to do. But if you can be at peace and if you can enjoy doing the dishes, then you're going to go on to have an incredible life. And if you're at a point where those things seem tedious and you hate doing them and you hate everything that you do in your life, find a way to enjoy the little things. Find one little thing every single day. Find a little gift to yourself that you can give. And do that and enjoy it. And if you start doing that enough over time, you start doing more and you start doing more. And then you start creating the life that you are just excited to live. You're excited to wake up every single morning and live this one life that you've been gifted, knowing that it is fleeting and you are going to die one day. And so use that as an opportunity to surround yourself with people that you like being with, to do things that you enjoy doing, and to just enjoy every little tiny part of this crazy, unexplainable, unimaginable gift that we have been given, that is life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If this resonated with you at all, please, I'm a small channel, so please subscribe to the channel, give me a like, send me a comment, And if you want to dive deeper, I'm building a community on Patreon, so check out the link in the description of this video if you want to be a part of that as well. Thank you so much for listening. I do appreciate it so much. And I'll see you next video. Much love.